I am going to be making my dinner for tonight in my crock pot. So this recipe I would recommend if you don't have the luxury of working from home. I would do this on the weekend, maybe on Sunday. And there's a reason why. So I make everything for this dish in the crock pot. No other cooking is required. So it is a chicken curry recipe with my homemade sauce. And then I also have broccoli and sweet potatoes that cook in the sauce in the crock pot. But the reason why I recommend doing this recipe when you, maybe on like a Sunday or like a day that you're home, is because I cook the chicken first alone, just the chicken and the sauce. And I don't like the chicken in this recipe shredded because I just feel like the chicken gets lost and then you end up eating a lot more sauce. And like, I really like to prioritize protein. It's very important to me. So a way that I can get around that, because I made this recipe up, I've made it a lot of times and I perfected it. So what I like to do is I like to take the chicken out before it is cooked too much to the point where it's shredding. I like to take it out where it's just perfectly cooked, the chicken, so I'm able to chop it up into chunks. So after I remove the chicken, I leave the sauce in the crock pot and then I add the sweet potatoes. I let that cook for about 2 hours. And then I take out the sweet potatoes and then I add the broccoli, or you can add the broccoli after about an hour of the sweet potatoes cooking, because the broccoli cooks a lot quicker than the sweet potatoes. So if I was to just throw everything in the crock pot at one time, the chicken, the sweet potatoes, and the broccoli, the cooking times of all of those different ingredients are so different that I would have either shredded chicken, or I would have the sweet potatoes would be cooked way too much, but I want everything to have a really nice bite to it. I don't want it to be just a mashed mess, you know what I mean? So this is the way that I do it, but I'm just gonna get right into the recipe and I'm gonna take you through every single step. So I have nothing in my crock pot right now. The two ingredients I'm gonna start with is reduced fat coconut milk. I just got this from Trader Joe's. I use the reduced fat coconut milk just to save some calories. The first time I made this, I did use full fat coconut milk, and then the next time I made it, I used the reduced fat coconut milk, and there was no difference in taste. So let me just get a spoon. So I figured if there's no difference in the taste, I might as well save some calories, right? So I have the reduced fat coconut milk, and then I have 1 6-ounce can of tomato paste. And I'm just gonna add this whole entire thing in, and then I'm gonna take a whisk. I have a whisk and a fork, and I just kind of like whisk everything together because the tomato paste is obviously like a thick paste, and I wanna break that up so it's just like a little coconutty tomato sauce in here. Okay, so once that is incorporated, I'm gonna start to add my seasoning. So what I have here is I have some paprika, and I'm gonna do a tablespoon of paprika. I also have some cumin, and I'm gonna be doing a tablespoon of cumin. I love cumin. If you watch my channel, you clearly know that. The last recipe I added cumin. And then I also have some Indian curry seasoning that I just got from my grocery store. I'm gonna do a tablespoon of that as well. I am gonna do a, let's see, I have ground coriander, and I really like, when I'm making this without recording, I'm just pouring the seasonings in here. So I'm just kind of, last time I made it, I did try to measure everything out because I knew this video was coming. So I'm gonna do like a heaping teaspoon of the coriander. And then I'm going to do a whole tablespoon of salt. All right. And then I'm just gonna whisk everything together again just to incorporate all of that seasoning into the sauce. This sauce, I think I said it in my last vlog, Brian and I literally drink it like soup. That is how good this sauce is. I just, like I said, I've been perfecting this recipe. It is so unreal. We could eat this. I'm making this on Monday for dinner. We're gonna have it for dinner Monday and Tuesday, and I'm making enough where we're gonna have massive leftovers because it's so good. We could eat it every single meal, every single day. Like this could be, if I could live off of one thing, it would be this. I'm telling you guys have to make it. And then I have one yellow onion that I just quartered, like just, you know, just quartered. And then I have about 5 garlic cloves. I love garlic. I think it seasons this so nicely. There's no, you know, if you want to add less garlic, you absolutely can. I like dipped this in the sauce. I just love the garlic in this sauce. I'm a big garlic lover. So I'm just gonna mix the garlic and the onions in this sauce. And now I just add my chicken and then that's done. So let me grab my chicken and I'm just gonna submerge the chicken so it is all covered. I have 4 chicken breasts in here. This, like I said, this is for Brian and I. This is for dinner tonight and dinner tomorrow. And then I just added, you know, if I was only doing dinner for 2 nights for Brian and I'd probably do 3 chicken breasts. And then that would be it. But because we love this so much, I'm making a little extra just in case Brian gets hungry at the end of the night and wants another serving. Or if I feel like having this for lunch instead of what I meal prepped for lunch. I like to cook a little bit more of this just because it is so good. And we really enjoy it. So it just comes in handy to have a little bit left over. All right, so I'm gonna show you what this looks like in just a second. I just wanna explain to you what is gonna go down with this chicken in the crock pot. So I'm gonna set this on high for 6 hours. But what I'm gonna do is on my phone, I'm gonna actually set an alarm for 4 hours from now. Because at the 4-hour mark, the chicken is going to be perfectly cooked because I wanna chop it into chunks, remember? So after 4 hours, I'm going to pull the chicken out and chop it. And then I'm going to keep the sauce in here and I'm gonna add sweet potatoes. I am going to then cook the sweet potatoes and I'm gonna set an hour timer on my phone. After an hour goes by of the sweet potatoes cooking, I'm gonna grab my broccoli florets and I'm gonna add my broccoli into the sauce with the sweet potatoes. And I'm gonna finish the sweet potatoes for 1 more hour and then I'm gonna let the broccoli cook for an hour. And then after that, everything is gonna be done. So this is a total cook time of 6 hours and all you really need to do is just let the chicken go for that 4 hours. And then after the 4-hour mark, that's when you kind of have another step to do. That's why I recommend you do this like on a Sunday, or maybe if you come home on like your lunch break, you can put this together. But I think this would be a really great meal to make on Sunday for Monday. Just, you know, my little recommendation. But let me show you what the crock pot looks like just so you can get an idea. All right, so the sauce is all blended together. The chicken is submerged and we are just gonna let this go for 4 hours. And on the days that I make this, it is so hard for me to not be hungry all day because it smells so good. All right, so I am just going to set, it's 11:10. So I am gonna set a timer for 4 hours from now, and then I'm gonna pull the chicken out and I will see you when I pull the chicken out, just to show you the next step. All right, so I just cut the sweet potatoes up into nice chunks and I'm just gonna stir them into the sauce, and they get so nice and tender and so flavorful because we are cooking them in this incredible sauce. They just kind of like soak up the sauce. It's so so good. And sweet potatoes are a little bit more dense, so that's why they're gonna take about, you know, 2 hours to be perfectly cooked. If you were doing, you know, white potatoes, they might cook a little bit sooner, just because they aren't as dense as sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes in this. And then, so I'm gonna cover this, and then I'm cutting the chicken now, but I just wanted to show you how tender the chicken is. This is a really great way to not overcook chicken in a crock pot, is to just to take it out a little bit sooner so it's not shredded. It's so tender and juicy. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna finish cutting the chicken and let this go. And then I'm not gonna show you the broccoli because I'm gonna actually be on the phone with a client, a business client of mine. So in an hour, I'm just gonna be adding broccoli florets to this, cooking it for another hour. So there's only 2 more hours left of this, and then I will show you for dinner tonight. Oh my God, I'm so excited. All right, it is done. Babe.
Yes.
How excited are you?
Super excited.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna take you guys through what I do. So I'm gonna hand the camera to Brian. And what I do is I take all of the sweet potatoes and the broccoli and I put it in its own Tupperware. Now, the reason why I'm not adding it to the chicken is because we just have so much going on. We have so many sweet potatoes, we have a ton of broccoli, and I just don't want to like fight to pick through to try to find chicken and stuff like that. This is what it looks like with, I mean, there's a lot here. This is going to be dinner for tomorrow as well, and we love this so much.
That's great.
So we're gonna be eating this all week probably because we love it so much. And I'm just gonna grab my chicken. And I want to keep the chicken moist, so there's a lot of sauce that is in with the potatoes and the broccoli right now. And now I'm just gonna like cover the chicken in this sauce, which was a homemade curry sauce. Way better than buying the canned stuff. And the best dinner you can make in a crock pot is served. You have to add some, I like to sprinkle some salt on top and lemon juice. Lemon juice, lemon juice, lemon juice. And I love adding cilantro as well. I didn't add cilantro just because I'm too lazy right now to chop it up, but lemon juice, salt, cilantro makes it perfect. And let me just go through a couple ways that you can recreate this. So I have sweet potato here. You could do butternut squash for a lower carb option, or you can mix butternut squash and the sweet potato, and you can cut up the butternut squash and cook it just like you did the sweet potato, so it's all in one batch if you wanted to. So that's a way to make it lower carb. You can also serve this with rice or cauliflower rice or both and have a mixture of both. You can make this and turn the chicken into a salad. Brian had a piece of naan that we bought at the store, and so he made like a little wrap with it with his naan. There's like all of that, you know, you could just repurpose it in all those different ways, but honestly, this is so good. We're literally having this for dinner again tomorrow. That's how good it is. So my mouth is watering. I cannot control myself. So I'm gonna dive into this, but I would love it if you guys let me know if you're gonna make this. You will not be disappointed.